Welcome in to 90.5 WASU, where we are here with the last home series for the App State Mountaineers as they are set to take on the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns. I'm Will Battershow, and joining myself today for our very last times is Adam Persico.
Well, it is an absolute pleasure and an honor to be here as Appalachian State is stringing together quite the year so far in the Sun Belt as they are in the top three for Sun Belt baseball standings. But Louisiana knocking on the door as well. They're going to want to make some here against App State as we're getting ready for conference tournament time. Well, it's a great time to watch some Sun Belt baseball. It's a great time to be here at Jim and Betty Smith Stadium. It's a great time for the Mountaineers to take the field, and it's a great time to watch the one and the only Nick Dorito pitch for the App State this year, and he's been hot as all can be.
That is right. Nick Dorito is on the bump tonight for the Mountaineers, and here is how his defense lays out. Steven Smith, who will be batting first, is playing shortstop. Riley Luft will be in left field. Ethan Puig over at first. Cam Miller at the DH spot. Drew DuPont in left field. Tommy Walker at catcher. Jake Muma at third base. Charlie Evans in center. And Joseph Zamora at second.
Yeah, so this is a team that's going to look to continue the success they've had now. They've won significantly more Sun Belt series than they lost. I believe they've only lost 2 of their conference series so far, winning every other one at this point. Obviously looking to take 2 against Louisiana, but with Southern Miss at the 2 seed, App State at the 3 seed, they're going to try to win every game if they can. They're going to put pressure on all 3 games no matter what, because Southern Miss, they're hard-pressed to drop a single game at this point in the season, and App State really wants that 2 spot, Will.
I'll tell you what, Adam, I never would have imagined that we'd say App State was a part of the Big Three in the Sun Belt right now, behind Coastal Carolina, who's been absolutely electric, still ranked, and I mean, that team made it to the College Baseball World Series last year, so pretty much what you should expect. And then Southern Miss, who started the year ranked but has fumbled a little bit, and now is in the clutches of App State.
And you know what was a part of that fumble for Southern Miss was last month, Louisiana, actually one of their biggest wins of the season, was winning the series against Southern Miss while Southern Miss was still nationally ranked. So this team is absolutely no slouch, and there are a couple spots behind App State in the standings, but the Sun Belt has been so tightly contested this baseball season. Most of the spots have been separated by 1 game or less. It feels like it's going to come down to the last weekend here, so every moment matters, and so this one's really going to matter for App State and Louisiana here.
Tommy Walker throws it across the diamond to Steven Smith as we get ready for the game. The first batter up for the Ragin' Cajuns will be Blaze Rodriguez, who is starting in at shortstop today. Blaze batting from the right-handed box. It's a very windy day here up on the mountain. Got papers flying everywhere. Rodriguez has appeared in all games, batting .230. First pitch lined up, center field. Charlie Evans has to make the read. The wind could play a factor as he starts the roam in, and that is going to be out number 1. So 1 pitch, 1 out.
Well, I was going to say Dorito likes to work quick. I was fortunate enough to be able to call the last home start Nick Dorito had, where he was getting ahead in counts early. He liked to work through those counts quickly, keep his pitch count down. Well, hey, if you're just going to pop it out on the first pitch of the at-bat, I think Dorito's going to take that all day.
Next up will be the right-handed batter of Noah Lewis, starting in center field tonight. A freshman, so back-to-back freshmen to start off the lineup here for the Ragin' Cajuns.
As they have an injection of youth in this lineup, and towards the top shows how exciting these bats are.
The first pitch is a bunt that goes foul, so it's going to be strike number 1 for Dorito.
It's a little bit over-eager there was Noah Lewis, as I think he had a foot across the base on the bunt attempt before the ball had even reached home plate.
So a 1 count now to the freshman. A very interesting batting stance from the freshman. Swing and a miss for strike number 2.
Big hack there from Lewis.
Dorito gets him with what looked to be a slider away. Now, 0-2 count with 1 out. Dorito throws, and that one is going to be out and away once again, so now 1-1.
And Will, you mentioned Noah Lewis has this weird batting stance. Yeah, to kind of paint the picture for you, he's a righty, currently with his left foot in front facing the pitcher, but that left foot is maybe 6 inches ahead of his back foot.
Is that one is popped up, and it is going to stay in the ballpark, so some free fan is going to get a baseball.
Yeah, it's maybe a foot ahead in terms of alignment, so what you're essentially looking at is from behind home plate, Noah Lewis's back is facing the pitcher, and his chest is staring straight at the fans behind the dish. Kind of an interesting little, maybe a way to generate torque here.
He is
the swing.
He is batting .304 on the season, so I'm assuming it works for him.
Well, he knows more than us, Will, about his own swing.
That one is popped up on the first base side once again. 3 people are roaming to it, and it's going to go out of bounds right behind the away dugout. Count will remain 1-2 as we get a battle from Lewis here as he's fouled off 2 straight.
As that contact is something Dorito doesn't mind having in his starts. It's just a matter of putting it in play and getting the outs he cares more for than getting the fouls and the strikes.
The pitch from Dorito. Grounded, third base side this time foul. So 3 straight fouls, and that is going to put it as now this will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up.
So much for Dorito working quick after the first at-bat. This one, quick is maybe not the word that comes to mind for this at-bat.
Great job by Noah Lewis, though, to kind of slow down the pace of the game after that first pitch out.
So that's going to help Louisiana out tenfold, having Dorito not be able to go deep in this game.
Breaking ball low, and he almost offers at it. Lewis does not swing, so now it's going to even the count out at 2. Nick Dorito, 3-2 count, 1 out. Lewis crowding the plate. The pitch. Lined back for a foul, so we are going to get a at least 10-pitch at-bat here for the second batter of the game.
This is unbelievable. This is just 2 immovable objects who will not budge at this moment. It's Dorito, former Sun Belt pitcher of the week, trying to find out just the second out of the inning.
The pitch, that one popped out. A play once again behind home plate. That is now 5 fouls in the at-bat.
Listen, in baseball, this is a good at-bat because he's battling, but in cricket, this is the greatest at-bat in the history of the game.
Noah Lewis doing everything he can to get Louisiana in the hit column to start the game. The pitch, lined. First base side, drifting foul, and it's going to go to no man's land, so we're going to get 6 fouls and our 12th pitch coming up.
And off the bat, you're thinking, surely this one will land fair. And as the wind and the spin pushed it further foul, we watched it go land into no man's land.
We are closely entering 5 minutes in this at-bat. Dorito now sets. The pitch. Lined. This one is fair. Short right field. Zamora calls everybody off and catches it. So after 13 pitches, Nick Dorito finally puts away Noah Lewis.
And the flight path of that ball was not unlike the fouls. Just this one was in play. Just another pop played in the air by Lewis. But 2 batters, 2 outs by Dorito. No matter how he got it, still got through it.
Next up is going to be Leah Muddy here for the Raging Cajuns, batting from the left-handed side, a senior playing at first base. First pitch to him is going to be in there for a strike. So Nick Dorito starting all batters he's seen so far off with a strike. Adam, how will this wind play a role blowing straight into our faces behind home plate?
Well, I think when you're a team like Louisiana, who's usually playing down there, at 0, right there at sea level, coming to App State, you expect a little bit more pop off the bat. But as soon as you get this wind whipping in your face, it kind of negates it almost immediately as a batter. Basically flight path is going to look different, but distance is essentially going to stay the same.
1-1 count now. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Hefty swing now to a 1-2 count.
So I wouldn't even say it affect the batters as much as I would say it's going to affect the Louisiana outfielders, as this may not be something they've been used to, the way the ball flies off the bat here and the way it comes down as well. It's kind of hard to track, especially with this wind.
And here at Beaver Stadium, we see a lot of high pop flies all the time, so it is going to be a very tricky one. We saw so far that Charlie Evans has been able to track down the one that he's got, so it's going to be a chess match throughout the night, really. 2-2 count now with 2 outs, nobody on. A pop out to center field and a pop out to second base to start the inning. This one lined over to left field. Great read, and it is caught. So Nick Dorito gets through a very easy inning besides a big battle from Lewis on that line drive to DuPont to end the first.
Yep, and that'll do it for the Mountaineers. After an efficient first and third batter for Dorito. Maybe not the most efficient second, but an efficient first and third that we expected from him, Will.
When we come back, it is going to be the Mountaineers' turn to try to strike first behind the bats of these, I guess you can say the whole lineup that is just on fire. So when we come back, App State's bats here on 90.5 WASU. Welcome back to 90.5 WASU's YouTube, here with App State Baseball versus the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. And up to the mound for the Cajuns will be the right-hander, Cody Brash. His first batter is going to be Steven Smith. And that one's lined straight to center field and is going to drop. And the batter that is second in the Sun Belt in batting average with a .384 right away boots it up just a little bit.
Yeah, that was absolutely needed for Smith. Smith kind of trying to keep his average above 400 on the year. Dipped under it last week and now trying to get back up there. First pitch swinging and making contact like that. That's pretty great for him. He'll be happy with that one.
Hard hit single on a ball that could have been easily over 100 miles an hour over the bat, over the middle. So App State immediately is going to have a batter on first. And before we could even finish introducing him, Brash got taken advantage of, but Brash 4-2 on the season in his starts. He has 52 innings pitched, 37 now hits, 14 earned runs, and 15 walks to 0 strikeouts.
You know, Will, and just when I thought Cody Brash was going to have the no-hitter, just as I thought that was going to happen.
First pitch to Riley Luft is going to be in there for a strike. Yeah, that no-hitter got ruined pretty much immediately.
The bid for history is over on pitch 1 of the game. But yeah, I know. It's Mountaineers have been in the second half of the season specifically, Will, they've done an excellent job of getting on the board early, especially after some heartbreaking losses early in the season. They realized how much they were leaving at the plate early on in games, and they've been able to.
And the pitch grounded, back foul over the home dugout. So count will remain at 0-2. And Adam, this App State offense has just exploded since pretty much mid-March or so and has taken the league by storm in a sense.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, you talk about Steven Smith, who's batting almost 400, Charlie Evans, who's been batting almost 400, Ethan Puig, well over 300 as well.
And Luft is going to fly that out to right field. It's going to be a routine fly ball and out number 1 for the Cajuns. And then we can't forget the guy that's on the on-deck circle right now, Cameron Miller. Last weekend, or the weekend before, excuse me, a 3-home run game here in Boone.
That was a fun one, Will. Let me tell you, I was here. I was in the booth for that one. That was a fun one.
Next up to bat, we just mentioned his name a second ago, Ethan Puig, batting .330 on the season, 3 home runs, 43 RBIs. Brash's first pitch is going to be just inside for ball number 1.
It's really hard. I rattled off some names, but it's really hard to choose anybody who's truly been instrumental to this offense's success, because it really just feels like all these pieces just click at the right times. And when one man steps down, the next one steps up.
The pitch, grounded, shortstop side, it gets past him, and that is going to be a single into left field. So now Ethan Puig gets a single, and that's going to be runners on first and second. Steven Smith on second.
That was a good diving attempt from Blaze Rodriguez at short. That was over to his right side in the third to shortstop hole, but just a little bit out of reach. Better contact by Puig to get that ball through. And that'll advance the runner and get 2 runners on base for Cameron Miller.
And if there's anybody you don't want runners on base for, it would be Cameron Miller. So this is a really sticky situation early in the game for Brash, as one of App State's best power hitters, 8 home runs this season, and he's missed a whole month.
Yeah, first they were starting to ease him back in the lineup with the DH every few days or whatever, and then they just let him back in as soon as he started mashing the ball again. It's hard to deny results, and Cameron Miller, he's been showing those results.
We get a disengagement from Brash, didn't like the call.
At one point last week, Cam Miller had 6 home runs in 6 straight games.
That is just absurd. He is so good. The pitch to the junior. In there for strike number 1. Cam Miller plays first base at times, but DH tonight.
And he's been in that DH role ever since he came back to the Mountaineers this year after injury. He's kind of taken over, as it also feels like the Mountaineers comfortable with different players filling that first base role. Ethan Puig there today, but seen a lot of Jalen Seward there as well throughout the season.
Gives that hamstring a little bit of a breather as he's in that DH position, because most of the time he's on base, he's hitting the ball over the fence. Pitch is going to be low and in for ball 1. So now 1-1 count. 2 runners on, first and second, 1 out to Cam Miller. One thing that sticks out about this Mountaineers lineup, almost everybody's batting over 300. And that ball is going to scoot away, and that is going to be a wild pitch as the runners advance.
Yeah, the pitch from Brash was in the dirt, and Brown unable to handle it. So he kind of puts the hands down, trying to get it off the dirt, turf, grass, carpet, whatever you want to call it. And it bounces off to the right side and lets both runners advance without even a contest.
So now Cam Miller has 2 runners in scoring position in a batter's count in 2-1 with only 1 out.
Ball in the air, puts a run across the plate.
And the Mountaineers have been one of the best in the Sun Belt in sacrifice flies. That is low for ball 3. If you're Brash here and you have that open base and how good Cam Miller's been, do you just think about possibly just putting him on?
I don't think about it until he proves he can hit you today. I don't think so. Well, I do see your idea here.
As that is ball 4, so either way, he is going to get the free pass, and Cam Miller will be on first base now. So bases will be loaded for Drew DuPont.
Well, now the question seems stupid, Will, so I'm not going to answer. No, I'm kidding. But as Cam Miller jogs back down. But yeah, that's kind of not a great scenario. You'd rather take an intentional walk over an unintentional walk, because now you kind of lose that confidence even further for Brash right now, who already, now you, like you said, Will, 1 out, bases loaded in the first inning of the game, cannot be a confidence builder for you.
Drew DuPont batting from the left-handed side. First pitch to him is going to be low and in for ball 1. And this is a really bad situation here for Bradish if you look at it. Drew DuPont has been on fire lately. 396 batting average and 20 swung on a miss. And yeah, you mentioned watching the Mountaineers team this year. Something's different, as that one's going to be fouled. But the last couple years, they were good at the start and then collapse. There hasn't been a collapse this year. Instead, they've been getting better and better and better throughout the season. Knock on wood, obviously. But it's been so much more fun to watch.
Yeah, it absolutely has. Even the games are more competitive, but it feels like all things are clicking offensively and defensively at this point.
That one is a check swing that almost catches the light tower behind the third base dugout.
Even his check swings look good.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. What can't Drew
Pure
DuPont
athlete. When I grow up, I want to be Drew DuPont.
We both say older than him in this booth.
The pitch to DuPont is going to be outside, and that is going to even the count now out at 2-2. So 2-2 count. One batter has gotten out. That was a line out to right field by Luft, and bases are juiced. That one popped back and into the concourse and out of play. So count will remain at 2s. In all my years of calling App State baseball here on 90.5 WHU, I've never had a baseball land where we are sitting right now. Maybe tonight could be the night.
I was about to say, you're trying to jinx it, trying to get it out in the universe right now. You want to take a souvenir home, don't you, Will?
I do. Swing and a miss by DuPont. Great pitch on the off-speed by Bradish, and that is going to be out number 2.
And if you weren't sure DuPont was sitting on speed, it was obvious after that swing. Like Will said, completely fooled by the off-speed after taking a massive hack there just ahead of the ball. But a battle of an at-bat nonetheless from DuPont.
Now comes the position that the App States have been lacking the most at when it comes to batting production, and that's catcher. Today it's Tommy Walker's turn as he takes the first pitch for a strike. But this is the one weak spot in the lineup you could truly say when it comes to batting is this catching squad.
But at the same time, you can also say App State has improved defensively this year prior to previous years.
That is going to be a swing and a miss for strike 2. So bases loaded, 0-2 count with 2 outs for Tommy Walker. The pitch to Walker, fouled into himself, so count will remain at 2-0. Brooks Wright started the year at catcher for the Mountaineers, but through 12 games was only batting a mere .050.
So you understand the Tommy Walker decision.
Walker takes that one as a ball. Now it's going to be 1-2 count.
But when you have so much production up and down the rest of this lineup, I don't see a need for the catcher to be the largest producer. As long as your pitchers are comfortable throwing to him, that's truly the most important thing if you can get 8 other batters in that lineup.
That is going to be a ball for ball 2, so the count now evens out at 2s. And the big question is Colton Denton is going to be able to get healthy by the time we get to the Sun Belt play, because he was the big catcher that stepped up for the Mountaineers. As we enter a full count now with bases loaded and 2 outs. So if you're the runners, you're moving. If you're the batter, you're trying to swing and just put something in play to try to score anything. Anything in play that gets on the ground scores 2 runs, unless it's in the infield. That one grounded off his foot, and it's going to be another try in the 3-2 count. Both bullpens very, very active today so far, which is very nice to see. We love when both bullpens can get into the game, not push it too far like club baseball normally would. I don't know why I said a dent into the score, because there really is no dent. But up next, the Raging Cajuns bats versus the Dorito Man here on 90.5 WASU.
And we are back as Dorito enters his second inning of work. First pitch to Colt Brown, the catcher, was a ball as Dorito sets and delivers. Second pitch of the at-bat. Another one outside the zone, so 2-0 falls behind here early.
Dorito's really trying to work that up and in area right now on the right-handed batter and just not able to get the control on it.
As he got it that time up and inside for the strike over the white of the plate. So now 2-1, Dorito back in to this at-bat. This is the set once again, the 2-1 delivered. Outside 3-1. Friendly hitters count upcoming for Colt Brown.
The interesting thing here is I'm looking at Colt Brown's name on the scoreboard, and it says right-handed pitcher and catcher.
Yeah, don't know if that one's correct, but he is the catcher right now. So that wild pitch got past him last inning, but that is going to be another ball high, so a walk for the lead-off batter of this inning.
That was a great count draw by Colt Brown. Just kind of work himself into what he needed and get that first base runner for the Cajuns tonight.
Yeah, some excellent patience there, making Dorito work for it. So now Steven Spolita steps in, the DH for today. It's Dorito high and outside to the left-handed batter. Dorito, of course, right-handed.
It almost looked like there that he rushed it just a little bit. So you just got to kind of settle back into that groove that he was in the first.
That one wasn't sped up, and it's flown to Drew DuPont out in left field. He gets under it and makes the snag and tosses it in to the cutoff. So the first out of the inning after Steven Spolita flies out to left field and keeps the runner on first. So one out in the top of the second.
The really interesting thing about Dorito, that was only his 18th walk of the season that he has allowed compared to his 72 strikeouts that he has on the season.
Yeah, pretty good ratio, I would say, in favor of the strikeouts, as he's top 10 in strikeouts in the Sun Belt as well this season. Just an excellent, dominant year from the UMass Lowell transfer. As he checks on the runner at first. He's not moving anywhere. Now Dorito setting again. Drew Markle at the plate, the third baseman. First pitch to Markle. Hacked foul behind him, 0-1.
I'll tell you what, when the wind wasn't blowing, it was really nice out here.
It was wonderful when the wind wasn't blowing, but now the wind is back, and it's not so wonderful, Will. It just isn't. But in the sun, it feels great. It's just that we are in the shade, and believe it or not, the sun warms you up. Who would have seen that coming as the check on the runner on first? Again, not in time. But keeping him honest, keeping Brown honest there on the bag.
Watching the American flag in right field has kind of been swirling around, and that's kind of the effect you get surrounded by all these trees.
And now, as you say that, it's completely stopped moving. As fakes a break for first is the runner on first, Colt Brown, but the pitch high and inside from Dorito keeps him there. But it's also outside the strike zone, so it sets the count at 1-1. As Brown breaks for it, the throw to second, not in time, dropped by Zamora as well, but a good attempt from Walker. But Brown, Colt Brown, he's going to take second there with the steal. After the throw by Walker, maybe could have been in time after a breaking ball was thrown to him. But even then, throw was a little high to Zamora, and he wasn't able to get the tag down in time.
Yeah, now Markle has a runner in scoring position, and this is the first time they've had that all game long, so it's going to be interesting to see how Dorito works around this.
It's the pitch from Dorito, low and inside, 2-2.
These Louisiana batters have done a great job so far, just working the count and making it to where Dorito really has to kind of sweat through these at-bats.
And that is kind of the way to beat him, as Dorito loves to go efficiently through his at-bats. As that one is chopped down the third baseline and foul towards the App State dugout.
I'm expecting to see a lot of this tonight for both sides of the ball. Just battles and battles and battles, just because this game means so much, especially for the App State side on trying to get this W.
As you definitely expect it with Nick Dorito pitching as well as he is. As that one is sliced foul over the first baseline.
And if you can force these big, long at-bats early in the game and get into this App State bullpen, that's kind of where they've been the weakest all season long. So you want to get into that bullpen as quick as possible.
As Dorito sets once again. He delivers. That ball is hit into the gap in center field. Cutting it off, but fumbling it is Charlie Evans. Ends up in the hands of DuPont. He hits his cutoff man, but not without a run scoring. So Colt Brown crosses home there on the hit by Drew Markle into the outfield. And getting on the board first is the Raging Cajuns.
And I would assume if they're going to score that, it's probably going to be a single and an error in center, if I had to guess. But I don't know if you called it when Colt Brown was rounding third. If Charlie Evans would have got that clean, Colt Brown fell to the ground.
Colt Brown did fall to the ground, and for a second I thought he stopped, but he fell at the same time that Evans was fumbling with the ball. As a break for third, gets the runner in time. The toss from Walker to Mumau gets Drew Markle as he tries to take third there.
That's a great throw by Walker, just absolute surgical with the placement of that ball, and he does exactly what he needs to get that out.
And it was also about 5 steps ahead of Markle, as Markle maybe had 0% chance of taking that bag. So now Donovan LaSalle, the right-hander, faces off against the right-handed Dorito. And the first pitch was a strike, but the second pitch, LaSalle, is a ball outside, so 1-1 count with 2 outs.
That caught stealing is huge for the Mountaineers because now Dorito has that space to breathe.
As LaSalle skies one to DuPont, who charges in. Charlie Evans over next to him, but DuPont calls him off, makes the grab, and ends the inning. So the Mountaineers get out of the second, or top of the second, rather, but not without a little damage being done on the RBI single and error by Markle that would score the catcher Brown. Louisiana leads 1-0. Heading into the bottom of the second. Don't go anywhere, listening to Mountaineer Baseball on the 90.5 WASU YouTube channel. After one run in the top of the second from Louisiana, App State looking to answer here in the bottom of the second. Jake Mumau stepping up to the dish. As he looks to work against Cody Brash, who worked his way out of a jam at the end of the last inning. Only in the first inning already having to sweat one out, as the first pitch to Mumau was a ball.
26 pitches in that first inning is definitely not ideal, though, even if you don't allow a run to score.
As that ball is fouled past the third baseline and here into the stands.
That one was closer.
I was about to say, as Will really wants to catch one here. Looking like Zach Hampel up here. As the next pitch of the at-bat is low, so 2-1 count to Mumau.
Should I start just running after every foul ball?
Well, I think you should go full Zach Hampel. I think you should start fighting children for baseballs.
Just
I think
start pushing, just start stiff arming them like I'm prime Deion Sanders.
Well, what's the point if you're not going to lean into it? Go hard or go home, baby, as the pitch to Mumau is a strike. So now 2-2 count to him. So he's going to try to get this inning started for the Mountaineers with Charlie Evans and Joseph Zamora coming up after him. That one's cut foul into the first base dugout. A couple Raging Cajuns have to duck their heads.
I always love talking about the uniforms when I get a chance to. And right now, just the mix of the reds and the yellows and blacks, it's so pleasing to look at.
Yeah, it's Louisiana wearing all gray with just red helmets and red accents. And that ball was a ball, so now a full count to Mumau. Now Mumau full count. Catches a piece of it foul behind him.
I like how they have the reminder that that last hit was an error on Charlie Evans still just sitting on the scoreboard, even though that was a whole half inning ago.
Mumau still battling here at 3-2. Outside ball 4. He'll take first base. So starting the inning with a base runner are the Mountaineers.
That was a big leak wall right there. That ball was just off the edge of the plate, and he just watches it go by confidently. And now it's going to bring up one of the other hottest batters in this lineup in Chuck Evans. And what I love about graduation weekend, all these players' parents are here, no matter where they're from. And it's so cool to run into all of them.
And to be fair, you do see a lot of their parents at these games, as well as you could hear them talking with. You did say it, Will. You did mention it. It is graduation weekend. We do have quite a few players graduating, as the first pitch to Evans is a strike. As to go through some of the names, of course, you have Jake Beatty, Cal Clark, Nick Dorito, who's on the mound graduating this weekend, Charlie Evans, Jordan Fisher, Caleb Marks, Everett Harris, Steven Smith, Tommy Walker, Max Tremontana, Carter Stanford, as there's a ball hit to the shortstop. Blaze Rodriguez makes the toss to second, then to first. 6-4-3 double play for Louisiana. And the fans are not liking that one, as the throw to Amadei over at first. Looks like it may have been in the dirt. He may have not had a full grip on it, but the umpires are going in to confer, as I'll go back to labeling some of those seniors for you. Of course, I'm talking about Jonathan Schwerup, Ethan Wilson, Rain Watson, Joseph Zamora, Jack Zhang, and Tank Yakubi. And that does it, I believe, for all the graduates. So congratulations to those guys.
Congratulations to you, Adam.
Hey, congratulations to you, Will. Congratulations to you, buddy.
Looks like we have a possible App State challenge here on the out call at first. Awaiting to see if this is going to turn into a fielder's choice or a double play.
And we got a little group conference, a little meeting of the minds between the umpires here in the middle. As it's hard to read, I think they're going to stick with their initial call here. But without even going to a virtual review, they're going to call the runner safe, saying it was bobbled at first base by Amadei. And Rodriguez threw that over to Lim, who threw that to Amadei, trying to turn the double play. So whether it was Lim's throw or Amadei's scoop, either way, it's going to allow Jake Mumau to be safe and escape the double play here.
And that's just the speed from Charlie Evans, too. Charlie Evans is the fastest guy on this team, and he just straight up flew down that line to force that error throw.
So now checking on Mumau at first is Brash, but Mumau gets back safely. This is Brash setting to deliver to the left-handed Zamora, and that one's outside. Brash, a right-hander as well, just like Dorito.
Zamora is a tricky batter to pitch around because no matter what handed pitcher you put in, Zamora can hit from that side.
And he's found success on both sides of the plate throughout this season. Not the same numbers as the rest of the roster, but still just as valuable. As Mumau breaks for second. The throw down is in time, but the ball was dropped, so he is safe.
Yeah, Charlie Evans just turned the jets on there and got his helmet hit off on the tag, and I think that's kind of what led to the ball coming out too, because those helmets are probably one of the hardest places to tag, and when your hand hits it, it just causes an auto release in a sense.
And Evans did turn on the jets, but Colt Brown almost got him out with that throw. Some incredible pop time from him there.
I kind of am starting to believe that right-handed pitcher graphic when it popped up for Brown.
As that one hit towards the hole at second, it's cut off by Lim. Lim throws to first, pulls Amade off the bag, but he's able to get the out as Zamora just narrowly avoids a collision there, as that was kind of a scary moment. But Charlie Evans is going to advance to third with 2 outs here. So the Mountaineers have a chance here with a runner just 90 feet away for Steven Smith.
These infielders have very sporadic throws, I guess is the best way to put it, with how they're really testing Amade over there at first.
Yeah, he's looking to be quite the athlete down there on the first baseline, having to make some splits, some scoops, having to reach, almost jump for it while keeping a toe in the bag as Smith smokes one to the third baseman, but Markle picks it off and throws down to first and gets the out. So with a runner on third, another golden opportunity for the Mountaineers squandered as we're moving on to the top of the third with Louisiana leading 1-0 on 90.5 WASU. As we are back here at Jim and Betty Smith Stadium for inning 3 of Appalachian State versus Louisiana. Louisiana taking the lead in the second inning. App State having no answer despite having a runner just 90 feet away. So now Nick Dorito having to put in another inning of work as Maddox Mandino steps in for Louisiana. He's batting .235 on the year, as the right-hander Dorito throws a ball to the left-handed batter for the first pitch of the at-bat.
That one just a little too high. Great look, though, as we have another dual position player here, as Mandino is also a left-handed pitcher.
As Dorito throws a ball in the dirt when Mandino shows a bunt, so now 2-0 count. Another time where Louisiana batters get ahead of Dorito early here. As that one's a strike in there. Some relief.
This Raging Cajun team truly does just have some athletes, because the amount of players that we're seeing that are playing a skill position and then also a pitcher is insane.
As Maddox Mandino slices that one down to the third baseline and foul. So now a 2-2 count.
I gotta say though, Colt Brown being a catcher and a pitcher might be the most unique thing I've ever seen.
I feel like that would be favorable as a pitcher, right? Having someone who understands you and understands that process a little bit better. Because Dorito delivers just a little high on the breaking pitch. Now it's 3-2. As Dorito fires outside, and that's another walk for Dorito. As Mandino will take the first base to start off this inning. This is the second inning in a row that has started off with a Dorito walk.
In last inning, the person that walked in Colt Brown was scored later that inning, so this could be very, very interesting for the Mountaineers here.
Dorito really struggling to locate. Another pitch high and inside to the left-handed batter. That's 1-0. Dorito fires to Lim, finds the strike zone there. 1-1.
He needs to stay steady in working this count, because he knows he has the offense behind him that can help him out. He just needs to limit the scoring as much as possible. And we know in the Sun Belt that scoring comes very often.
Then it comes and draws as the bunt is laid down by Lim, cut off by Dorito. Dorito throws to first, and the throw in time. But Mandino advances to second. So the Mountaineers get the first out of the inning, but not without Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, advancing a runner into scoring position.
That's a great bunt attempt, too. Kind of put Dorito in an interesting position because of how he had to turn and throw that. And he ran down the right part of the line as you would as a batter to make that throw as hard as possible. Looks like Louisiana's going to challenge it, though.
Yeah, it looks like we are getting a challenge here, as that was on the first baseline, which is where Louisiana's dugout is. They think they might have seen something better than the umpire, so they're going to go ahead and challenge it. If this does stand, then it will be runners first and second for Louisiana with no outs.
It's been a rough day for that first base umpire so far.
He's been tested a ton already, and we're not even through the third inning.
Very quick review here, though.
And so upon further review, it is safe at first. So they didn't get any of the outs there, and despite the 1-3, Lim actually advances on the bunt. So I have to go ahead and change my scores book, and now runners on first and second with no outs in the top of the third. And what can be construed as a must-win game for the Mountaineers is a bunt laid down when Dorito fires, and that one is fouled. Blaze Rodriguez flew out to center field in his first at-bat, showing bunt. The Mountaineers were ill-equipped for the first bunt attempt from Lim, but it went foul, so 0-1. Dorito ready to fire the second of the at-bat. So that one's hit in the hole in the middle. Shortstop diving play by Smith. Shoves it to Zamora and gets the out at second, as I was trying to see if they were turning a double play there or not, but Zamora, against his better judgment, decides to hold off on the throw to first and fake the throw to third to hold him there. So now runners in the corners with one out. for the Raging Cajuns.
Steven Smith does everything, too. That was just a beautiful diving grab. Granted, on turf, it's a whole lot easier because not only are you going to slide more, but it's an all-predictable bounce. But, yeah, makes it look like a routine ground ball in a sense.
So I thought that ball was for sure getting through the hole there, but a great cutoff player to save a run there was Smith. To Noah Lewis, he swings while the runner breaks for second. Back into right field, and that's caught by Luft. He throws it to first to Puig, but not in time, as Rodriguez broke for second there in a hit-and-run situation, but that ball was tattooed straight to Luft. The Mountaineers thought they could get the throw to first in time, and it looks like they did get the out.
It looks like Rodriguez came off the bag when he slid in, and that is when Puig had the tag on. And as long as you maintain that tag when the runner hand slides in and pops off the base, he's going to be out.
So a great double play from the Mountaineers as Luft doubling up Rodriguez at first, but some boneheaded base running from Rodriguez there, breaking early off the bat, contact with one out. But a blessing for the Mountaineers as they'll move on to the bottom of the third with still only one run on the board for Louisiana. Mountaineers down 1-0. You're listening to App State Baseball on 90.5 WASU.